So you remember the Paul Pelosi break-in? Nancy Pelosi's out of town. 911 call at the Pelosi residence in San Francisco. Cops come. Paul Pelosi's, according to the reports, in his boxers. And then there's this guy who, I guess, broke in, but Paul Pelosi doesn't seem concerned. And then according to reports, Paul Pelosi said that he knew the guy, referred to him as a friend, that Paul Pelosi didn't rush to the cops when they got there. And then finally, the guy attacked Paul Pelosi with a hammer, but all sorts of theories based on the press reports. Well, now we got the video footage. The cops show up to the door. It's unclear who opens the door.
What's going on, man?
Everything's good.
Hi. Drop the hammer.
Nope.
Hey.
And the guy's holding
What's
Paul
going on?
Pelosi's hand. And then the guy just attacks Paul Pelosi with a hammer. So it's a little bit weird here. We don't really know who opens the door. It's Paul Pelosi. They're standing somewhat still. He's got a drink. Maybe it could be just a glass of water in one hand, and then his arm is being held by this invader in the other hand. The invader then has the hammer in the other hand, and they're all just standing there, and the cops go, hey, what's going on here? So your first thought is, why didn't the cops tackle this guy? This guy's holding a hammer. He's holding a hammer while holding Paul Pelosi, the husband of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the cops are just waiting there like, hey, what's going on? Hey, man, drop the hammer. Drop the hammer. The guy's got a hammer. He's got the husband of the Speaker of the House. How about you jump on him? How about you shoot him? How about you do something? You're just standing there, and then they wait, and then the guy just slowly takes the hammer out and smacks Paul Pelosi on the head. So that's bad enough. It's weird, though, because there are still questions. Why doesn't Paul Pelosi seem more nervous? Why doesn't, who opened the door? What, do these guys know each other? What is this? Do the cops not know that this is Paul Pelosi? But then we get the 911 call, and things become much clearer.
This is San Francisco Police. Do you need help?
Oh, well, there's a gentleman here just waiting for my wife to come back. Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, do you need police, fire, or medical for anything?
8 seconds.
I don't think so. I've got a problem, but he thinks everything's good.
Okay. Call us back if you change your mind.
No. This gentleman just came into the house. And he wants to wait here for my wife to come home.
0, 2,
and so,
4 and 48.
Anyway, he told me to put the phone down.
Do you know who the person is?
No, I don't know who he is. He has this. He's telling me not to do anything. Anyway, this gentleman says that he thinks everything ought to, He told me to put the phone down and just do what he said.
My name's David.
The name is David.
Okay, and who is David?
I don't know. What's that?
I'm a friend of theirs.
Yeah, he says he's a friend, but as I said, I've never.
But you don't know who he is?
No, ma'am. He's telling me I'm being very leading, so I got to stop talking to you, okay?
25 and
okay. You sure I can stay on the phone with you just to make sure everything's okay?
No, he wants me to get that off the phone.
0, 2, 26
okay.
and 0, 8
Thank you.
seconds.
Okay, bye.
So that's just a brief snippet of it. The call goes on, and the longer the call goes on, the angrier one becomes at the incompetence of this dispatcher. He goes, hey, I'm here. There's a guy in my house. I don't know him. He says he's going to wait for my wife, Nancy Pelosi. She goes, oh, yeah, okay. Do you need emergency services or no? Okay, and later on she goes, okay, well, call back if you need anything. He's going, no, I don't. What do you, no, why are, and you realize that Paul Pelosi is telegraphing as clearly as he possibly can that they need to send someone immediately. And this incompetent dispatcher is ready to hang up the phone. He says, no, don't hang, what are you, and you can hear the guy. The guy comes in, he says, hey, I'm a friend. Oh, I don't know him, but he says that he's a friend of ours, and she almost hangs up. So, this dispels the conspiracy theories. Right now, go to hallow.com/Knowles. If you are listening to this show, you probably know how important I consider religion and our faith lives. That is why I'm super duper excited to talk to you about Hallow. Hallow is the #1 Christian prayer app and the #1 Catholic app in the world. I love Hallow. The app has everything that I need to maintain a daily prayer routine. It's got over 6,000 audio-guided prayers, meditations, and peaceful music playlists. Plus, daily reminders will encourage you to keep up with the routine. You know how much I love Father Mike Schmitz's Bible in a Year podcast. It's really the only podcast I regularly listen to. You can listen to it on Hallow. You can pray alongside Mark Wahlberg, Jim Caviezel, or Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus in the new hit series The Chosen. Just like physical exercise, daily spiritual exercise is critical to your well-being. You are supposed to be holy, and you can't be holy if you don't pray. It's especially true in a world that attacks faith and religion constantly. Try Hallow for 3 months for free at hallow.com/Knowles, Knowles. That is hallow.com/Knowles. The conspiracy theories were Paul Pelosi knew the guy. One conspiracy theory was that they were gay lovers. There were all sorts of theories floating around the internet. And the reason that theories were floating around the internet is not because right-wingers are insane. The reason the theories were floating around the internet is because that was the information that was reported. The information that was reported was that that Paul Pelosi referred to this guy as a friend, that the police on another one of the dispatcher transcripts says that this guy was a friend of Pelosi, that Pelosi was cool and calm and collected, didn't rush to the police, had a drink in his hand, had his pants off. All of the leaks before this information came out suggested that these guys had some kind of a relationship. So then the question is, who released the information? Who was behind the leaks? And the answer is it was the cops. The cops are the only ones that had, and the political leadership of the cops, they're the only ones that had the tapes. So you had, on the one hand, you had the left-wing theory that this was a right-winger, a Trump Republican. He's obviously not. He was a nudist with a gay pride flag at one of the compounds that he was living at. He's an illegal alien. He's obviously completely insane. So that theory goes out the window. Then you had the right-wing theory on the fringes that this guy was, I don't know, a gay lover or something like that. But that one goes out. And so you had the left and the right bickering with each other when really what is revealed by the 911 tape is this was the cops covering up for their incompetence. Very, very bad week for cops in this country. Now, what's the solution to that? There are really only two solutions, I think. Listening to this kind of incompetence, and then especially looking at the outrage that people see from the police-involved killing of Tyree Nichols. Either you can just disband the police. Either the libs were right, abolish the police, these guys are, or fund the police much better, train them much better, exclude people from the force who are not up to the job, fire that dispatcher, fire the cops who improperly responded to the Pelosi call, and just, or train them, or just get much better policing. I think the answer is obviously the latter. It can't be the former, because contrary to what the libs and the sort of anarcho-libertarian kind of right-wing libs would have you believe, the civil government exists to protect law and order. We need law and order. We need a civil authority to have a flourishing society, because we're not just free-floating atoms left to do what we want and we'll all build up our own private armies. That's not real. That's never happened anywhere. That's a utopian fantasy. What we need is law and order. And so if that's the basis of a society, then we need good, strong police departments with good training and high standards and legal protections for the cops so they don't have their lives ruined by political correctness if they are involved in a justified police-involved killing, which very often what happens now is police are involved in a justified killing, a justified shooting, and then they go to prison, and then, or they get their lives ruined in some other way. They lose their careers, they lose their pensions. And so a lot of good people, a lot of good, competent people say, why would I ever want to be a cop? There's no political defense of me. It's a dangerous job, and I could lose my life if I trespass against the vices of political correctness. So then you end up in a bad situation. You end up in a very bad personnel situation. Today is Music Monday. The rest of the show continues now. Mr. Davies and the producing team has some really profound music for me to analyze, because you know I am a cultural maven. I am the hip-hop, pippity-pop kind of music man over here. You don't want to miss it. Become a member and use code Knowles, Knowles at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. We'll see you over there.